Good evening. This is William from Occupy the Need Act. You know what's happening right now with the virus, having businesses closed down. We're not getting income. We can't pay our rent. We can't buy the food. We can't do the things that we need to do. Can't make our car payments. Can't do anything. Uh, and the reason we can't do that is we don't have income. Now we think, because we've been taught over and over, to have income, you got to work. What do we tell the people that are protesting? We tell them to get a job. Like that will solve everything. Well, getting a job is not possible now for many, many, many of us. It looks like we're headed into, or we are headed, we're in the highest unemployment figures that we've ever known. So we can get income because the government can create all the money that it needs without taxing anyone or without borrowing money from anyone. Right now, all the money that we have, somebody had to borrow it, whether it was the U.S. government or you going down to your bank and borrowing money to buy a new car or a new house. That's how all money is created now. It's all created. All money is debt now. We can change that. That's what the NEED Act does. That's right there at the bottom of your screen. See it? Let's see if I can see it. Right there. Change the money. Occupy the NEED Act. Google that. Just do Occupy the NEED Act and you'll find lots of videos and explanations of what we can do. This is legislation that was put into Congress back in 2011 into the 112th Congress by former Congressman Dennis Kucinich of Cleveland, Ohio, a good man. He's been fighting for us for a long time. And the woman that he married, Elizabeth, a drop-dead beautiful woman, was a monetary reformer from England that came over here to work with a fellow named Zarlinga, Stephen Zarlinga, to help him promote creating money without debt. And they got together, actually got married, and live in Cleveland. And the legislation that he introduced back in 2011 is right there in Congress. It's been fully vetted. It's ready for action right now. And it does three things. The three things that it does is, I'll just write it here in the chat. It nationalizes the Federal Reserve. Okay. Okay, NEED Act. Okay, here it is. The NEED Act. First, FIRST, nationalizes Federal Reserve. Second, ends fractional reserve banking, which is how the banks create money. And Zarlinga was always said, whoever creates the money determines the culture we live in. And right now, it's the bankers that determine the culture that we live in. Hell, they can buy a congressman anytime because all they got to do is tell the congressman, look, Mr. Congressman, this is what we need done. And it's mainly just understood. And we will make sure that you never lack for money ever again, because the banker has the power to create money, and they can continue loaning to this guy forever and make sure that he has money. I had that offered to me back in the 70s, and they said, William, you do what I say. You sell that fucking airplane you got, okay? It's right up there. Let's go right there. There we go. That actually wasn't the plane that I had. I had a twin engine Bonanza. Flew all over the country. I had an iron foundry at the time, and of course, I didn't realize what the politicians were getting ready to do with me was sell me out to people that could make the castings cheaper than I could overseas. I actually did that for 10 years. After the banker got control of my foundry, I told him, I said, you got my foundry, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these castings in India and Brazil and compete against you and run you out of business, which I actually did. I went in competition against the foundry that I had run and had for many years, a family business. So, okay, so the second thing that they do is the NEED Act does is it ends fractional reserve banking, which is the power of the banks to create money. And then NEED Act spends money into the economy. Okay, NEED Act spends money into the economy, doing the things that we need to do. And right now we know what we need to do. We need to give ourselves income. We can do that. We can give ourselves a guaranteed annual income right now, $40,000 a year. That would probably help, wouldn't it? Help a situation that you're in. And we can do this internationally. Every nation can do this that has a central bank. No, they don't have to have a central bank. They have to have a parliament or a Congress. And every nation can do this. And it's been done many times before. And the best example is it was done by the colonies, the 13 colonies in America, to create the nation that we have now. It was, in fact, the English came over here, the British came over and said, no, you can't create money like you're creating, because the colonies created their own money to build the bridges, to build the roads, to do the things that they needed to do to develop their economies. And they did it. And the British came over and said, no, you're going to do it our way, which was a system that they had gotten from the Dutch 150 years before, which was the fractional reserve banking. And we said, no, we're not going to do it that way. And we fought a war and created our own nation. And what did Hamilton and Washington do right off the bat? They took the power that we had put into Congress to create money and gave it to their friends who became our first bankers. Terrible what they did. And so uh, uh, we can change that. We can change that with this right here. H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress, the NEED Act. Look it up, and you can actually read the bill. And that was done by a group of people that I met after I heard Zarlinga talk about what Hamilton and Washington did at a economics teach-in of Occupy Chicago. So, and that group of people is the ones that I met after that. Let's do to greensformonetaryreform.org. Here you go. Go there, and you will see the what the group that I met after hearing Zarlinga talk about Hamilton and Washington, and get a full explanation of what we're doing, what we can do. In fact, that book, The Lost Science of Money. Let's see here. There you go, The Lost Science of Money. You get a free PDF of it online. Just Google it, and you will you'll find a free copy of that book. So it's over 700 pages. It's the most comprehensive history of money ever written. And go there and get the book, and then go to our website, Greens for Monetary Reform. And here it is again, greensformonetaryreform.org. Go there and start studying this stuff. The bankers don't want you to know about it. You'll never learn about it at the university. Never. Why? The banks control the universities. I look at the list of the Board of Regents of the University of Oklahoma, and goddamn, no wonder the students aren't taught the things that they need to be taught. And they're not going to allow it. I have a professor friend who said, well, they've never told me. And I said, look, it is understood. You never learned this, okay? This has been going on so long that you never were aware of it. So you need to get aware of it, Cynthia, and go to Greens for Monetary Reform and get that PDF and start looking at this and start telling our city council here in Norman, Oklahoma, to pass a resolution to tell our Congress representatives to reintroduce this into Congress. And let's see, how can you get a hold of let's go here. Here you go. Go to contactingcongress.org. Put in your zip code. You'll get all the contact information to your U.S. representative and your U.S. senators. Call them up, send them a text, send them a message, tell them to reintroduce H.R. 2990 into the 112th of the 112th Congress. And there you go. H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress. Tell them to reintroduce that into Congress right now. You can call after hours, leave them a message. In fact, I found that's one of the best ways to get through to your congressman is to call after hours, call her local office, leave a message with that secretary. She has to write it down, what you said, and and give it to the proper people on the staff, whether they're at their local office or in Washington, D.C. It has to be passed up because they have to know everybody that called them and what they did. And so it's real easy. You don't have to talk to anybody. You're not going to have to get questions answered. All you have to do is say, hey, I saw this guy on Periscope or on YouTube or Facebook Live, and he said, this is what we need to do. And I don't know anything about it, but I want you to check it out, get it into the public debate, because he said he can get me $40,000 a year right now. So I can pay my bills and keep my apartment and keep my house, keep my car, and 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 take care of my children. And I need to do that. I need income. And he's saying that you don't have to work to have income. That's right. You do not have to work to have income. The Puritans that came over here gave us the Puritan work ethic, which what the Puritan work ethic means is you work, you like your work, no matter how badly you're being treated or how little you're being paid. I did that for years and years and years and years and found out in 2011 I had been duped. And as soon as I could retire, I retired. And now I have a guaranteed annual income. It's not a lot, but it's enough. I have a nice apartment. I have a nice electric bicycle. In fact, I'm getting another electric bicycle, and I was told I was going to get a shipping notice on it Friday, that I can ride at 28 miles an hour and ride for 50 miles. And that way I can get around my metro area. I live in Norman's, 20 miles south of Oklahoma City. I can ride up to Oklahoma City, go to a play, go to a political event anytime, because I don't have to depend on public transportation, and be active in this world that we're in. That's what I've done since I retired. I hadn't worked a day in 16 years. But that doesn't mean that I'm not active. Look at all these damn books behind me that I've been reading. And this is just a little bit of them. And when I hear something, Amazon's made a lot of money off of me. Now mostly I get them and put them in my phone right here. They're they're Kindles. There's my library right there. You can do word lookup, and if that copy of the Lost Science of Money you get online doesn't allow word search, send me a message. If you're on Facebook, send me a message. I'll give you a link to the copy that I have in my Dropbox, and it is fully searchable. Thanks to a friend, I was able to create that copy, and it is fully searchable by any word. And you're going to find out that money was invented not to end barter and make trade easier. Money was invented by Paleo Man to give gifts of love to the persons that he loved. They'd polish stones and put feathers together and make necklaces, and that was money. That was the original money, not the money that was created to end barter. That's a fiction that they tell you at the university. Don't believe these people. They don't know the history of money because it was never taught to them. In fact, our lead economists don't even consider money as important in economics. How crazy is that? I guess it's as crazy as our government borrowing money, $22 trillion in debt or more, probably. It's much more, and going much deeper, faster now, because that's the only way that the government has to create money now is by debt. When that's insanity that we have a national debt when the money could all be created by Congress as a asset and not borrowed from any banker. And the bankers are getting $1 billion a day from us in interest, fees, and commissions right now. Let's cut them out. Let's make honest businessmen out of them. We need bankers to help us do things that we want to do, yeah, but they need to be loaning us money that they have or that they have actually the government in the NEED Act, if they don't have the money to loan to you, they can borrow it from us, okay, and pay us interest and then loan it to somebody else and get interest off of it. So, yeah, instead of us going to the bankers can come to us and borrow money from us. And we'll loan it to them if it's a good deal. Okay? If it's what we want. But we're not going to loan them money to pay for bombs and weapons to kill people. America is a dangerous nation. In the 16th century, in the 18th century, the editorials in Europe were full of editorials saying we need to watch out over on the North American continent. A dangerous nation is forming, and it has been. We killed the natives. We have now. We think it's our duty to go out into Congress or to the world and make them like us. No. And if they won't be like us, we'll kill them. We're a dangerous nation. Go to let's see. Let's put it in here. Go to Renegade University. .com and there we go, Renegade University .com, and look at some of the video courses that are offered there, and one of them is called A Dangerous Nation, and historian Thaddeus Russell teaches the course, and he will explain to you why we're a dangerous nation, and the most dangerous. And he starts off the most dangerous, or the most dangerous words in the Declaration of Independence is, "All men are created equal." And if we perceive that a people are not, a country is not sticking to that, we'll just go fucking kill them. Not very nice, is it? It's not very nice that our kids are taught to go kill the kids of some other nation. And actually, when it comes down to it, the reason they do that is, and what the effect of their doing that is, they're protecting our bankers against their bankers. So anyway, I think I'll stop now. I'm really pissed off about this as I learned about the NEED Act and what it could do and what it can do for us. And right now, the thing that it can do for you is it can give you money to do the things that you need to do to keep your life together during this virus. So we'll see you again probably tomorrow. So bye now.